It's that time again, and we have finally reached Equilibrium 6, and I am at Trailblaze level 65. I've done this for 50 and 60. Now here is the final one. Although I'm not at level 70, this is the final barrier that I need to access Endgame in Honkai Star Rail, and I'm really excited about this. First things first, we're gonna go ahead and do the Trial Equilibrium, and so here we are at the final one. And as you can see, the enemies now are level 80, so we should be okay though, because most of my team is built up towards that. And this time we're going to be bringing Yukong, the imaginary character, which will be helping out a lot here, especially because one of the enemy's weaknesses were imaginary. So I haven't really showed off Yukong because I ended up just waiting for version 1.2 second half to come out to get Kafka, and then I can also follow up with Bronya's ult. And now my Sela, as you can see, is pretty busted right now. So yeah, let's go ahead and see how hard this is going to hit. Maybe Sela could finish this in one shot if I crit. And almost close enough. Same as before, let's set up with Yukong, and the way that my speed rotation goes for this team, usually it's Yukong, then Bronya, and then Sela, but in this case it doesn't really matter. I'll go ahead and use Yukong and then pop Sela's ult. All right, come on Sela, hit hard for me. Let's get him pretty weak. There we go, 88k, nice. He is almost dead already, man. I love Sela. I should have really brought Pela though, that way I can go ahead and seal these guys because I'm pretty much killing them twice, but I just didn't even think about it at the time. But we're good, and there we have it. Oh my gosh, man, Sela definitely just carries so hard with this. There we go, now we're finished, and that is Equilibrium Trial 6. Yes, there's the gold achievement for finishing it, and I'm now at the end game of Honkai Star Rail. And now it's time for the account overview. I'm really happy with how my account has turned out so far as a free-to-play player, and since the game has only been out for about 4 months, I think I progressed quite nicely. I have quite a bit of decent 5 stars, ones that I'm really happy with, and every 4-star in the game so far. Bronya was my first ever 5-star. I got her from the beginner banner, and I couldn't have been happier with my first ever support character because she is the best in the game in my opinion, but I'm a little biased because I love her character so much. Sela, however, was my first ever featured 5-star. I'm so glad that I won my 50-50 and that she was my first ever 5-star because she has carried me through the game so much, and I just love her character a lot as well, especially because she does big damage. Shepard would be my second character that I got from the standard banner, and I'm quite happy with him because the tankiness that he offers has really saved me in some points, and I just love building a defensive character like him that can save my team from a lot of damage. Most recently, Kafka was the 5-star that I saved up for relentlessly. I really skipped over the second half of version 1.0, version 1.1 as a whole, and even the first half of version 1.2 in hopes of getting Kafka. And although I was guaranteed her because I missed out on the 50-50 on Lucha's banner, I wasn't too disappointed with that because I was able to get Kafka, and she's such an amazing damage over time character that I've been loving using. I have all the 4-stars that are in the game so far, and I'm quite happy with them, especially Luca I've got from the recent banner, which I can't wait to build him because he's really fun. Sampo, Pela, other DOT support units, or just Nihility characters in general, I love them so far, and I can't wait to use all of them. Su Shang I got recently, and even though we're getting a free one of her in version 1.3, I was fortunate enough to get her not too long ago. Same with Yukong, as well as getting a free Yukong. I actually got her before that from the Lucha banner, and that's really what I wanted because of how strong she is at boosting up your DPS characters. As far as 5-stars, I'm missing a lot of the standard banner ones. As far as that goes, I would probably want Welt because I think he's a really cool imaginary character, or Clara or Bailu, but I would take any of them to be honest. But you can definitely see that after Sela, I prioritized waiting for Kafka because I didn't get Silver Wolf all the way up through to Blade as well. And that was alright because, you know, I really wanted to get Kafka and focus on her, but these are some really decent 5-stars that I wish I could have. Probably the one that I missed the most and not getting is Lucha because he's an amazing healer. Hopefully I can get him in the future, but for right now I'm quite happy with all the characters that I have. The light cones are actually something that I feel like I've had some good luck with, and that's mostly because I have some decent 5-star options. Now 2 of these are free to play that you can get from Simulated Universe, which is an amazing one for hunt characters because once you have it S5 like I do, it gives you 16% crit rate, and I use that on my Sela, which is really good because it's close to her signature at giving you 18%. This one gives you 16, and it also has the extra boost, and I love this free to play light cone. Most recently from the summon that you guys saw, I was able to get this harmony weapon for Bronya, and this is her signature light cone. I was really fortunate to get this because that means that I can actually spend my starlight on a different light cone in the shop, which is good because I love this for her because it is her signature and she's my favorite support. But it also gives me the opportunity to get another gacha light cone from the shop without having to worry about my Bronya not having her signature. I've been pretty fortunate with the 4 stars as well. I think I have a lot of decent support ones more than I do damage dealing ones, especially notably for Good Night and Sleep Well, because this is a really good 4-star light cone to use on Kafka, and that's what I've been using. Unfortunately, I don't have it at S5. I only have it at S1 right now, but once you get it to S5, it is very close to S1 of her signature weapon, which is really good for me as a free-to-play player, and I just think it's an amazing light cone. I'm fortunate that I have at least one copy of it. Dance 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 I recently got also, which I'm extremely happy about because I love the fact that this light cone makes your actions advance forward. It's really good for someone like Asta, and I can't wait to level it up and throw it on her because it'll just make her speed usage a lot better. Of course, as a free-to-play player, I'm not going to have a lot of 5-star light cones, especially because it's almost impossible to get those, especially if you're summoning for characters alongside it. Ones that I would probably want most notably are Sleep Like the Dead, which is the one I'm probably going to buy from the Starlight Exchange shop because it increases your crit damage by a bit, which is something that I would love for a hunt character, but I can buy that, like I said, from the Starlight Exchange shop. As far as gacha light cones go, I would probably want Sela's just because she's my favorite DPS character so far, and I just love how it looks. It gives you a lot of crit rate, but a lot of boosts on top of that. I was really sad to have missed out on Jing Yuan's as well because that increase to crit damage is crazy, and I think it's one of the best Air Editions, if not the best Air Edition light cone that we have in the game, and it's really something that I wish I could have got, but it's okay. Now it's time to take a look at my best built characters, and I'll show you a few that I've built that aren't that well, but I've worked on them a little bit. It's no surprise that I'm focusing heavy on Kafka since she is the most recent 5-star I got, and if you guys saw my Trailblaze power video for her, you'll know that I spent quite a bit over the course of a few versions, and I'm quite happy with how my build turned out. I have some pretty solid pieces. This one has effect hit rate, some attack, effect hit rate, attack. That's a trend you're gonna see because that's something that you really want to focus on her, alongside speed. Now I don't have any speed substats, but I do have quite a bit of effect hit rate alongside attack, and when it comes to the Plano ornament set, no surprise the spear was pretty bad as always, which hurts even more because I used my self-modeling resin for one of them. The rope isn't that bad either. I just wish that it had a little bit more effect hit rate, but the attack percent is pretty solid, and I have her skill tree built a lot as well. As you can see, effect hit rate and attack is something that she offers a lot, and I can't wait to get this last one just so I can have her perfected. I'm quite happy with how she turned out, especially because she has 53 effect hit rate. That's really nice, honestly, and some pretty decent attack. I do wish that some of the substats could have been a little bit better towards that, but she does do some pretty good damage over time, especially when I pair her with another Nihility character, which brings me to Sampo. He's a character that I'm working on in progress, and his build could be a lot better, especially because it's not even fully leveled up. I won't bother showing you the substats because they're not too crazy, but he does have 53 effect hit rate, which is really nice. He's not even using an effect hit rate body, he's using an attack percent one, but even so, his attack percent is lacking a little bit. I'm using his signature weapon, which is pretty good, but I do wish that I had it leveled up a little bit more, and his traces are something that I have to work on still also, but he does really boost up my Kafka's damage over time, which is something that I'm enjoying. And Sela needs no introduction. You guys have seen her on my channel quite a bit, and you know that I put a lot of time into her into the early game of Star Rail. She has some pretty decent crit rate and crit damage, and although I did spend a lot of time, like I said, early game getting these, they could be a lot better, especially something like the body, which has no crit rate on it, the boots, which has no crit damage on it. The sphere and the rope are not too bad, but I do want a quantum damage one. I kind of have just settled with crit damage at this point, but I do really want a solid quantum damage one for her. I think that'll be really nice, but the crit damage that I'm getting from these two Planor sets is really good too. And my Bronya is not currently built right now because a lot of her pieces I delegated to Sampo to have that wind damage and also the attack, but normally I would have it on her, which at the most I think I had her at 160, almost 170 crit damage, which really did boost up my Sela quite a bit, along with Yukong being introduced. Yeah, those two made Sela hit pretty hard, and I've had some videos where I've used Bronya with Sela a lot actually, so you can definitely see her output there, but that was before I have her weapon, which is really going to help with the energy regeneration, and especially because I was lucky enough to get an Eidolon 1 from her from the Lucha banner, I do have a 50-50 chance of not using one skill point, which is really nice. For longtime viewers, that's really reminiscent of Chakra Reset from Naruto, and it is a lot of fun having E1 for her. That's going to do it for my in-game in-game account review. I'm really happy with the progress I've made so far and can only wait to see what it's going to look like by the 1 year mark for Honkai Star Rail. Let me know where you guys are sitting right now. Are you at Trailblaze 65? I'm sure there's a lot of you guys that have actually passed me, but I do think as a free-to-play player, I've made a lot of good progress and I can't wait to get to 70 one day. But for right now, this is the biggest barrier that I had to break through to have access to every content in the game. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.